पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रम् अतो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं म्राहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. First three verses we saw last time. Correct?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah. First three verses. Okay. He said it is the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear, etc. And then he says it's not the object of the eye or the ear, etc. Okay. Now, he comes to a very, very important verse in the next one. अन्यदेव विजानीयात् अतः अविदतात् अधिहि इति सुश्रुम पूर्वेषां येनस्तद्व्याचचक्षिरे. अन्यदेव तद् विदितात्. It is other than the known. Other than what is known. That means other than the whole body, a whole world, other than your body, mind, etc. Anyadeva tad aviditat. It is other than what you don't know. So what is the world anyway? What you know, what you don't know, isn't it? If you look at the whole universe, it can be divided into what? What is known to you, what is not known to you. What is known to you, a small thing. What is not known, huge. He says the reality is other than what is known and unknown. Iti susruma purvesham. Thus we have heard of it right from the beginning. Ye nastat Vyacha Chakshire. From the ancient masters, this is how we have heard it. That the truth you are asking for is other than the known and the unknown. If you negate the known and the unknown, what is left behind?
The knower.
You is left behind, the one who knows. I know, I don't know. Other than that. And if you look at all the previous statements he has said, eye of the eye, ear of the ear. So the eye of the eye cannot be an eye. Ear of the ear cannot be an ear. Because if the eye of the eye is a ear, eye, then what is the eye of that eye? It will go on. There is never an ending then. That means you opened your eyes to see something as a baby and that thing still clicking inside because another. But that's not true. There's a finality of it. Yeah. All right. So he says it is the knower. Then what? Let's look at the verses and then I'll come back and handle it as a whole. Okay. Yad vacha anyabhyuditam yena vagabhidyate tadeva brahmatam viddhi nedam yadidam upasate. Now suddenly you will find a shift here. He had said other than the known and unknown, therefore the knower. Okay. Then he says, Yad vacha anabhyuditam, that which cannot be described by your words. but that because of which your words can come out. Tadeva brahmatam vidhi neidam yadidam upasate. Know that to be Brahman, not what you are worshipping here. If you look at it, this is a big jump from the individual to the total. He is talking about the individual, because the question started with the individual, remember? By which the mind goes externally, impelled by which, in the presence of which, the mind functions. In short, the words utter. Then here there is the eye of the eye of the mind of the mind, all that. And he said it is other than the known in there. Okay, therefore that I. All right, I the knower. Now, from I the knower, you remove all this. What is left behind? A simple awareness is left behind, isn't it? You are an awareful being. In the presence of you, awareness, the mind functions. Eyes can see, ears can hear, etc. Your mind can know certain things, and the mind doesn't know certain things. So he negated that also by saying it is other than the known and the unknown. Therefore, what is left behind is you. What is that I? Other than known and unknown.
Awareness.
That simple being that is aware of everything. No? Aware of what you know, aware of what you don't know. Aware of the functioning of the mind, independent of the mind. Aware of the functioning of the words, independent of the words. Aware of the functioning of your eyes, independent of the eyes. That I. That awareful being. That I. That's all that is left behind. Because other than known and unknown, remember? So by describing it as other than known and unknown, not describing, but revealing it as the other than known and unknown, you have negated everything. So all concept about yourself also negated. No? I am like this only. Where do you get that concept? Known. No? I don't know what I am. Other than that also. Other than your ignorance. Other than your knowledge, other than your ignorance. So what is left behind in this? You. Okay. What else is there? So look at the starting point. It's very interesting to see the process. Eye of the eye. Therefore, obviously not the eye, but something that makes the mind, the eye enlivened. That because of which the eye sees, but that which is not the object of sight. That because of which the mind thinks, but itself cannot be thought of. That because of which the words come, but it cannot be described. Other than what is known, other than what is unknown. Describing you. Even though it looks as though it is in third person, it's actually first person. I. Why? Because the question also started with first person. How does my mind function? No? Does something impel my mind, or does some the presence of which my mind functions? Trying to know the truth of what I am. Therefore, you came to that simple, awareful being. Okay, fine. Then he says, that which the words cannot describe. Why? Anything the words describe will be something that you will objectify. Pen, you objectify it, isn't it? Table, chair, laptop, phone, anything the words can describe, your mind will objectify it. So what the words cannot objectify, but because of which the words can speak. So that which enlivens me, the person, but itself not a person. Why not a person? Because person is known to you. You have a reasonable amount of self-awareness, no? You know this body is yours. You know what your mind is. You know what your... Other than the known. A lot of things about myself I don't know. Other than that also. It seems a very peculiar way of teaching, but it is not peculiar. Because the teacher starts from the level of the question. You have to answer the question. You can't make the question come around to your this thing and you answer it. Nor can you dismiss the question. If you dismiss the question, the student is not wiser anyway. Unless there is an insincere question, then you can dismiss it. This is why student who has done seva for a long time and then is asking that, because you gave the permission to ask him. That's why that story in Gurudev's introduction. So his sincerity is not under question. Yeah. Therefore you have to answer. And then, okay, this I, awareful being, that much you can come to with this. Then he says, that consciousness you are talking about, that awareness, tadeva brahmatvam viddhi, that is Brahman Jagat Karanam Ishvaraha, tadeva brahmatvam viddhi, nedam yadidam upasate. Okay. Now when you say Brahman, इधर भी गड़बड़ हो सकता है. Why? Because Brahman can have many meanings. One meaning of the word Brahman is the Veda. The Veda is called Brahman. But that's not the meaning which is used here. Not that which you worship. Therefore, we are talking about the Brahman you worship. What is that? Ishvara. All right. Then he says, this eye of the eye is really speaking the Brahman, not what you are worshipping. Because when you are talking of worship, whether it is Vedic or Puranic, nowadays you are used to more Puranic worship. Olden days it was more Vedic worship. In the time of the Upanishad it was Vedic worship. But whichever form of worship, Ishvara is involved. What is the name for Ishvara? Jagat Karanam Brahman. What is Ishvara? Brahman, which is from which the whole universe has manifest. That is Brahman. So this is not that which you are worshipping. Because what you worship will always have a particular format, a particular form. Even when you say Jagat Karanam Brahman, you are talking of Brahman from where the universe has manifested. So you are talking about Brahman with the whole universe manifestation. That's all names and forms. Names and forms come under what? Known or unknown. Correct? All names and forms, Do you know all the 7 lokas? No, I don't know all the 7 lokas. I don't even remember all the names. I heard there are 7 up, 7 down, 14 lokas. I don't even remember all the names. So unknown. This loka I know to an extent. Other than known and unknown. So other than known and unknown, there is only one thing left, that pure consciousness. Therefore, what you are seeking to know, though you started with I, it ends up where? In the consciousness which is the basis for the whole creation, which is free from the whole creation. That which is not limited by the creation, but that because of which the creation is. Can you see the jump he has taken here? Huge leap. It's a huge leap, not a simple thing. Yeah. From starting with I consciousness, he has gone straight into the reality. The reality behind everything. In other words, he is revealing you as the limitlessness itself. Why? It is from this consciousness, time, space, and everything in time and space has come. You started by wanting to know what is the power behind me to function, etc. That's how it starts. I ended up with what? That I is nothing but limitless consciousness. इतना ही बात है. अन्यावाचो विमुंचते, बाकी सब बात छोड़ दो. Leave out everything else. This is all that is there. Because that neidam yadidam upasate makes it a Mahavakya. Because you are worshipping something. Yeah. Remember, every person who comes to Vedanta is supposed to have dealt with Ishvara. Okay. Has accepted Ishvara in your life. I know in modern times people come to Vedanta without Ishvara. I even know one stupid teacher, not of our parampara, but very much associated with us. Okay. Who goes about saying there is no need for Ishvara, there is no need to go to a temple, etc. If you understand the truth, there is no need. If you really understand the truth, there is no need to go to a temple. If you understand that Ishvara is everything, not yet understood I am Ishvara, but that Ishvara is everything. If you understand that, then also you don't have to go to a temple because everything is sacred for you. Ishvara is real. Ishvara is real. Once you are at that stage where everything is sacred, you feel the presence of Ishvara everywhere. In everything Ishvara is manifest, then no problems. You don't need to go to a temple. But other than that, every student of Vedanta, I remember when we were in ashram, there is a small corner for meditation, for worship, etc. In your homes also, I hope you have a small corner for Ishvara. Yeah. Small corner. Kidhar bhi chalega. If your house is small, no problems. Kitchen mein rakh do. Like our parents used to do. Yeah. That's why when they cook, they won't taste. And between the dabbas, behind the dabbas, Ishvara is there. Some murti will be there, some print will be there. Then move aside that, cooked food is offered and then eaten. That's why the whole idea of not tasting came from there. And there is one culture which is opposite. You have to spit in the food to make it sacred, okay? To make it halal. ठीक है, अपना अपना कल्चर है. Therefore, by saying not that which you worship, are you negating Ishvara? Yeah, in a way. But what are you doing? Just like your body, mind, etc. was negated, you are shifting attention from the deity you worship to the reality behind the deity. Ishvara, what is the truth of Ishvara? What is the Swarupa of Ishvara? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. That's why the terms also used are like that. Sagunam Nirgunam Sha. One Brahman. Where's one Brahman? Two standpoints. One is Saguna with the creation. Ishvara. Another name, Pyar se Ishvara. The same Brahman with respect to itself, Nirgunaha. Free from all this. Anya Devatad Viditad. Anya Devatad Aviditad. Other than that which is known and unknown, that pure consciousness is the same consciousness that is each Brahman. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi. Nedam Yadidam Upasate. So, when you are pointing out that this is not what is worshipped, he is not saying don't worship. Don't convert it into a do and a don't. That comes from the karmata background that this teacher has, who says this. That I am not going to mention names, but you may come across the guy. Therefore, you have to be careful about it. Okay, yeah. Okay. Nedam Yadidam. Okay, of course the Bhashya goes a little bit here and there and everything, yeah. Then he goes on, the same idea from a few different standpoints to clarify it. Okay. Yan manasana manute yenaham manurmatam tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. Yan manasana manute, that which cannot be objectified by your mind. And yena ahur manormatam, but that because of which the mind thinks. That which is not an object of your thought. Why? That is the subject we are talking about. So people ask, Swamiji, how do I conceive of the truth? Please don't. If you try to conceive of the truth, you will not get the truth. Try to let your mind go along and see the meaning. That which cannot be thought of, that which cannot be conceived of, that which cannot be thought of, that which cannot be conceived of. What? That because of which the mind thinks. That because of which the mind thinks. That which is not an object of your thought, but that because of which the mind thinks. Look at it. I, the conscious, is not an object of my thought. But without consciousness, is there a thinking mind? There is no thinking mind. It's as simple as that. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi Nedam Yadidam Upasave. Know that to be the Brahman, not that which you are worshipping here. Know that to be the Brahman, not that which you worship here. Which shows what? Ishvara is what is worshipped. Brahman is a matter for understanding. You will also find people saying this, I am a Nirguna Upasaka. Bada baat kiya, Nirguna Upasaka. All of you are Saguna Upasakas, I am Nirguna Upasaka. Nirguna is not Upasyam, Nirguna is Nyayam. As my own Atma Swarupa. You cannot even know it as separate from you. How can you? So, these words are bandied about in so-called spiritual traditions, okay? Nirgunopasana, Nirgunopasana. How can you do Nirgunopasana? At the most, you can contemplate on it. And what is contemplation? Seeing the truth of what you are. Yeah, jnana abhyasa, repeating what you know. Why? Because it will become yours. As Swami Chinmayananda used to say, what has gone into the ears has to sink into the heart. The sinking in is contemplation. Making rasagullas. Make the gulla and put it in sugar syrup. Let the sugar syrup seep through that. So the same way, you are immersing yourself. That immersive experience is what you call contemplation. That's not Nirguna Upasana. That is called Nididhyasana. Saguna Upasana can be there. Saguna Upasana, when it is done through the body also, when the body is also involved, it will become a puja, homa, etc. Or even Veda Adhyayanam can be. You are chanting something. Or it can be purely manasikam, mental. But in either one, there is Ishvara involved. Even those people who create modern meditations, the people who do that. Imagine the white light, etc., all that stuff. You are invoking an aspect of prana. They don't know it. So they say this is all secular meditation. Somewhere secularism ka bhoot chad gaya hai. They think as though secularism is everything. But invoking one aspect of prana only, that is. So, Saguna Brahman is always involved in it. Always there is Saguna Brahman involved in the whole thing. Okay, that's why he says, and it is expected in those days, especially, even today, that when you come to Vedanta, you have done some contemplation, you have done some worship, you have done something, you have let Ishvara into your life. It is the grace of Ishvara in your life that makes you come to Vedanta in the first place. Asmin Janmani Janmantareva. Like I tell people, hey, before I joined the ashram, I had not thrown a flower at the Lord. True. So physical upasana was not there. No? Physical worship was not there. Mental was there. Yeah. Yeah. And worship was there. You invoke Ishvara in different forms. Who said Ishvara has to be invoked only in a particular form? Saraswati is invoked in a book, no? Saraswati is invoked in the notes of the Veena. So why not Durga invoked in a spear? After all, she is Shulini. Or invoked invoked in a sword, as how I used to do it. There's a Khadgamala Stotram, part of Lalita Devi Upasana. Khadgamala meaning a sword, a mala, a garland of swords. Khadgamala. So my Upasana came from there. So it is expected that's why he is keeping saying this. Neidam yadidam upasate. Don't be conditioned by your worship. Because when you worship is a powerful thing. When you really do worship, physical and mental both, then the deity is very real for you. Therefore, sometimes it's difficult to go beyond the form and understand what is the reality of the deity. And it is because of that you are saying, Neidam yadidam upasate. Don't get stuck on the upasana part only. Yeah. Don't get stuck on that, Yeah. That's why this keeps coming in. Neidam yadidam upasate. Neidam yadidam upasate. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that which is not conceived by the mind, but that because of the mind can think, know that to be Brahman. Jat chakshusha na pashyati, yena chakshonshi pashyati, tadeva brahmatvam vidhi, neidam yadidam upasate. Okay. That which cannot be seen by the eye. For something to be seen by the eye, it should have form or color. Brahman does not have that form or color. Don't say in meditation, I saw white light and that is Brahman. Why? Come to me, I will show you all the stars of the heaven there. Simple. I just have to stimulate your Ajna chakra. But my stimulation is a little bit hard, okay? Guaranteed you will see all the stars. Guaranteed. And you will go into Samadhi. So that which the eyes cannot see, but because of which the eye sees. Now look at this. How immediate this makes Brahman. See, we have again another tendency. Truth is beyond all this business. There is another problem. Beyond everything. Okay, beyond Ananda. Okay? Look at it. That which is not an object of the perception, but that because of which my eyes see. Can anything be more immediate than this? Beyond the eyes, beyond your mind, that because of which the mind thinks, but because, that because of which the mind thinks. Can there be anything more immediate? Eye. Beyond Kidar. We have a tendency to put it. Why? Because we have decided nothing here. That is the problem. Yeah. Which is not an object of perception, but my eyes function only because I am awareful. Because I am awareness, my eyes can function. It is not something finite I can conceive of, but that whole conception is possible only because I am aware. My mind can think only because I am aware. I am awareness, backing the mind up. There is nothing more immediate. There cannot be anything more approximate than the eye. More direct or approximate than the eye. Okay. Then the same way he goes one more. Yet shotrena na shrunoti, yena shrotamidam shrutam, tadeva brahmatvam vidhi, nedam yadidam upasate. Yet shotrena na shrunoti, that which cannot be heard of by the ears, but because of which the ear hears. know that to be Brahman. Why is he repeating all this with every sense organ? Important. Because there are upasanas like that. Meditate on the anahata sound. Each chakra in your body has a mantra associated with it. So I see in modern teachers, let us start activating this chakra. So focus on the chakra and say lam, 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 lam. Nothing will happen. I see it, I say, okay, you can do that much. It is safe to do. Thoda, over years, some little effect you will get. But you know what it really is? When you manage to move the energy through that chakra, when it pierces the chakra and goes beyond, that is the sound that is emanating. That is the sound that emanates when the chakra, the energy has, the chakra has been activated, you can say, the energy has gone beyond. Then you will get that sound. So people do all the different pranayamas, etc. Lift that energy, waiting for that sound. Lift it, pierce it, see what happens. So in one chakra you will spend maybe a year or more. Okay. And sometimes nothing may happen. Why? The energy is not flowing, there are too many blocks. Therefore do Kriya Yoga to remove all that blocks. Lot of Kriya has to be done. Remove all those blocks. In fact, they'll say you can work on this energy only after 10 years of Kriya Yoga. Okay? If you want to do it. But people do. These upasanas were there. Therefore, he says, not the sound that you hear, tadeva brahmavattam vidhi, yat shrotrena na shunoti. You can't hear it. If you are hearing something, that is not Brahman. But all these chakras may be there. Want to validate it, validate it. Want to spend 20 years of your life on it, please do. No problems. साधु लोग के लिए अच्छा है और कुछ काम धंधा नहीं है ना. Good upasana. When you do upasanas like that, you are very committed, okay? Very subtle. Very subtle. Yeah. Very focused your mind has to be. Very relaxed, very focused. Very subtle. Very good. Mind gets prepared for Vedanta very well. After that, forget it. Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. Both kiya ho sab chodo. Your mind has got ready. Whether that thing worked for you or not, it doesn't matter. Reva de. Let it be. Yeah, you did all that. Na? Mind got ready. But Swamiji, none of the siddhis worked. It doesn't matter. Does it matter to you? So many Vedanta students will come and say, all that doesn't exist. 10 years I did all that stuff. Reva de. You got your mind, na? Ready? Good enough. Good enough. Anyway, siddhis can be a problem. Why siddhis? Your body and mind and your normal skills is so difficult for you to dissociate from and see yourself as independent of that. Your normal roles. Like I asked someone, what was your field? Your field of work. I am asking his field of work. And he tells me I am CEO. Arey Baba, I asked your field, I didn't ask your rank. I want to know whether you are in HR, finance, what? So, I mean, a CEO is a pretty high position, So you got an identity out of that. But these are all identities available in the world. How many CEOs have sat in my workshop? How many CEOs have sat in my workshop? Well, a worldly identity. Now you get special siddhis, what will happen to you? If this role, you're finding it difficult to drop and see yourself as independent of that, if you get a special siddhi, how much more difficult it will be for you to drop and see yourself as independent of that? Therefore, the Vedantic masters will say, Reva de, let it be. Don't bother about that. I like their Gujarati expression, Reva de. There is something dismissal about it. Yeah. Maybe don't worry about those things. With what is normal, you are finding it difficult to see yourself as independent. Then with something exceptional, something which is not common, yeah, difficult. Yeah. So that is the whole thing. Okay. Then he completes that section by saying, Yat pranena pranati yena prana praniyate. Yeah. That which cannot be smelled, there is no smell for the Atma, thank God. Otherwise you will need a deodorant for the Atma also. Yena prana praniyate, but because of which the sense organ of smell can function. Tadeva brahmatvam viddhi, know that to be Brahman. Edam yadidam upasate, not what you worship. So in all this, what has he done? In all this whole first section, he has seen first yourself as independent of your body, your sense organs, your prana, your mind. Mind, both emotions and thinking. People put manasa, sankalpa, vikalpavan. See, when you are saying these things, now you have to understand what it means. Sankalpa, vikalpavan, manaha. Mind is that which doubts. Therefore, what doubts is the mind? Emotions kidhar gaya fir? Look in all your study group books. Emotions hai udhar? It is not your doubts that create havoc in your life. It is your emotions that create havoc in your life. So how is sankalpa, vikalpa connected with your emotions? Because emotions are like that, na? Morning you like something, by in 2 hours you don't like it. You discover something about him or her or whatever, you don't like the guy. Emotions are like that. Emotions keep wavering, going up and down. Na? Is your emotion constant? Swamiji, we have been married for 50 years. And all 50 years your emotion has been constant. There are times you have loved the person, there are times you have hated the person, there are times you have fought with the person, there are times you have felt like tearing your hair out to the person, there are times you have felt like tearing that person's hair out. And I can see people saying, thank God my hair has gone anyway. What? You staying committed was a different thing. Emotions are a different thing. So in that, your emotions play havoc. So all this you are independent from. Your mind includes both reasoning, thinking, knowing and emotions. All that you are different from. That which you are. All these function because of you. In your presence, all this functioning happens. You don't have to impel them to. Do you have to tell your mind, hey mind, think now. Go in that direction. Hey, I go see that. You can't help seeing certain things. No? Do you really have to impel your mind? Tell your eyes, udhar jaake dekho. Hear that. Sometimes when you hear some people gossiping, you may pay an extra attention. That's a different thing. Or a guy walking on the road will turn and look and look and look and look. That's a different thing. Those are different things. But the fact remains that without your violation, in your presence, the body, the sense organs, your prana, your mind, all function. Just imagine if you have to tell yourself, hey, breathe. Every time then you forget to breathe.
Sleep.
Huh?
Then we cannot sleep at all.
Yeah, you won't sleep. So in your presence, all these things function. That means what? Atma akarta abhokta. Atma is not a karta. He is not doing anything. In the presence of the Atma, all functioning is happening. I am. I just have to be. Mind, body, this, that, all that will function. In my presence, all functioning will happen. I don't have to impel. Because he had asked that, na, Kena eshitam preshitam va. Impelled by him or in the presence of which? So obviously, is in the presence. Just imagine, how well the body is designed. Your parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system, etc. You have to tell your heart to beat. You have to tell yourself to breathe. You have to tell your kidneys, hey, come on now, start filtering everything out. Liver, come on, you've eaten food. Release some extra bile. बोलना पड़ता है ये सब. Insulin, come on. All the sugars, etc. has to be digested. You have to tell the mind to think about this, think about that. In fact, what people come and tell me, Ramji, my mind is thinking too much, I don't know how to make it stop. Ulta problem. Therefore, in your presence, these things happen. So, in the totality, is it any different? In the presence of consciousness, everything happens through Maya Shakti. Here it happens through my mind, there through Maya Shakti, everything happens. That's it. Consciousness akarta, bhokta. In the presence of consciousness, everything happens. Individual or total. So ask Ishvara, did you create the whole universe? Identifying with Maya and say, yes. Really? No creation. Where is the creation? There only me, consciousness around. But I see all this. Name and form. Apparent, not real. Therefore, what is there? One consciousness. How big? Brahman. Brihatvat Brahma. The big. Limitlessly big is called Brahman. That which is limitlessly big is called Brahman. That which is not conditioned by time and space is Brahman. बस इतना ही बात है और क्या बात है? And that Brahman happens to be you. You are that consciousness. Brahman. Upanishad is over here actually. Really? What else is there to be said? You are worshipping Ishvara and all. Very good. Acha. That grace brought you to Vedanta. But no, what you are worshipping is name and form. The content of that is Brahman. The content of that is pure consciousness, Brahman. Any questions on this? Or is it clear? Yeah?
Swami, normally the methodology is when you start with the individual, we sort of go to Atma and then say Atma is identical with Brahman. Here it's a little extra bit of a leap.
Yeah, there's an extra leap here, correct. There's an extra leap. That's why how the student asked, so he got it. And remember, he prepared the student first. All that making a garden, this, that story is important, you know. Guru Seva and all that.
So in this approach, isn't that the world of names and forms is dependent on the mind?
Yeah.
Is that how it is?
In a way, yeah. You can take it as mind. Though it is not exactly subjectivism, not in that sense. Yeah. Through the mind, but it's on consciousness. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's all that is there. बात इतना ही है और कुछ नहीं है. Really speaking, the Upanishad is over here. Huh? I'm not joking. After this, the next chapter, etc., is verifying it, validating it, etc. So, what do I want you all to do during the week? Whenever you get the time, off and on, find some time every day and sit down and just say, eye of the eye. That which cannot be an object of my eyes, but because of which my eye functions, because of which my prana functions, which I cannot think of as an object, but because of which my mind thinks. Keep doing this during the week. Okay, simple. Why? Because I want you all to get in touch with the I that you are, just that conscious being. Simple as that. Eye of the eye, mind of the mind. Just that. If you stick to this, few minutes that you get every day, few minutes. You can do this anywhere because it's not like sitting in down and then prana, you know, you're invoking Ishvara. Yeah, that traveling to work in here, this thing you can do that. You got a meeting, you're waiting for somebody to come on. Okay, that because of which the eye sees. But that which cannot be seen, know that to be Brahman. Ah, okay, eye. Right here. You're hearing a lot of noise and it's disturbing you. Happens in a city. That which is not an object of the words, that which cannot be heard, but that because of which my ears can hear. You find yourself going silent and the sound not disturbing you. Try it out. This is, when I say try it out, you have to do it, okay? Only then it works. Naito it will be like what Taranandagiri used to say. Swamiji, that person studied from you. Ah, sun ke gaya. He heard and he left.
So, Midi, can you elaborate a little bit how practically
No,
we can
I'm not going to elaborate it. I want you to figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything cannot be spoon fed, should not be spoon fed.
Okay.
Yeah. So think of that. What does eye of the eye mean? What does ear of the ear mean? What does mind of the mind mean? सुन के तो गए हैं सब जन. I said enough. Yeah. So now think. And in doing that, if nothing, you will understand the fact that I, the consciousness. That is everything, etc., may take some time. But that I, the conscious, up to there you will come very easily. Kenopanishad is meant, it is taught to get into this level fast. Yeah, straight. Okay, next Friday It's part of the Ram Navami, Devi Puja, everything. All of you can come for the class. I mean, I may be in Shankaramatam, but I can always take the class from Shiva's room. Not a problem. So I'll be there at the beginning of the puja, then I'll go to Shiva's room, take the class, and come back for the arati, for the Maharati. So that's not an issue for me. How is it for you all? Class on?
Class on, Swamiji.
Okay, then class on. We'll have the class on.
Class on, Swami.
Yeah, good. If there's any change, of course, I'll put it up in the groups, but I don't anticipate a change. Okay? Yeah. It's a good place to stop here. Okay? Om Tat Sat. Do what I said, okay?